Salutations viewers, my name is GameDame and welcome back to another one of GameDame Reacts. So I don't know if this is just to showcase Unreal Engine 5 or if this is going to be a game that they're also including to showcase Unreal Engine 5. Like, I don't know if it's just like they're just showing this demo just to, wow, look what we can do in Unreal Engine, or if it's a game on top of, wow, look what we can do in this engine. So it's like a mix, but we will see in this very, very long trailer. So without further ado, let's watch the official Valley of the Ancient Tech showcase for Unreal Engine 5.
Hi, I'm Chance Ivy, Senior Technical Designer at Epic
What up,
Games.
Chance?
And I'm Galen Davis, producer and evangelist for Quixel at Epic Games.
Last summer, we revealed the first look at what's coming in Unreal Engine 5, the next generation of our real-time technology, and our demo, Lumen in the Land of Nanite. Since then, the engine team has been working hard on preparing the tools and technology for creators around the world to get their hands on so that they can explore the new features and provide us with feedback.
Hell yeah.
Just a few months ago, we assembled a small team of developers to see what they could build using these new features. The result is a new practical sample project called Valley of the Ancient.
Okay.
Today, we're excited to give you the very first hands-on look at some of the new tools and workflows that we use to build it.
Now, we've got a lot to get to, so let's get started.
Hell yeah, we do have a lot to get to. 15 minutes worth to get to. So this is
When
captured
setting
on
out to make our
Xbox
demo,
Series X.
we wanted to push the boundaries of what's possible with UE5
Wow,
today,
that
while
looks
targeting
so
next-gen hardware
realistic.
specifications. Here are sequences running in real time on PlayStation 5
Looks
and
better than
Xbox
real
Series
life.
X.
Here, I wonder if they have the closed captions. Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the brand new UI in Unreal Engine 5. While a lot of the same features and functionality that you've come to know in UE4 are still present in the new UI, we've added several new systems that put you at the center of the experience. For example, the content browser can now be accessed like a drawer using hotkeys, allowing you to keep a clean
Wow, look
workspace
at the
while still
lighting,
having
looks
access to all the
so
content that you
good.
need. We can also collapse and restore editor tabs to and from the sidebar, maximizing the viewport experience. And you're going to see a lot more of the UI as we get further into this presentation, but we can't wait for you to get your hands on it. Now, one of the main features of Unreal Engine 5 is Nanite, our virtualized micropolygon geometry system that frees artists to create as much geometric detail as the eye can see. Virtualized geometry supports orders of magnitude more triangles without compromising speed, and replaces the traditional system of mesh LODs, handling all detail transitions seamlessly without any additional setup. In other words, Nanite lets the artist create while the engine does the work.
Hell yeah,
Switching
wow.
to this Nanite visualization, you can see
Holy.
individual triangles rendered out as different
Huh.
colors here in the viewport.
Yeah.
And because the geometry is now virtualized, you can feel free to place assets like these all throughout your scene to fill out a massive player space. Using this debug view, you can see individual instances represented by different colors from swatch to swatch. Each instance in
That
this
looks so
environment
crazy.
contains around 1 to 2 million triangles, providing enough detail for the camera to roam with complete creative freedom. Now, UE5's new anti-aliasing solution, Temporal Super Resolution, keeps up with all this new geometric detail to create sharper, more stable images than before, with quality approaching true native 4K at the cost of 1080p.
No, but seriously, I think it looks so much more realistic
While
than
highly
actual
detailed assets
real
are great on their
life.
own, high-quality lighting that
insane.
realistically reacts to your scene is what opens the door to more dynamic worlds and immersive gameplay. Lumen is our fully dynamic, real-time global illumination
remember learning
solution
about
that
Lumen.
immediately reacts to scene and light change, making for more believable experiences. And the GI hooks in directly with our time of day settings, allowing for true physically based setups for photorealistic environments. The Megascans library has meticulously calibrated physically based surfaces and objects in the thousands of assets as of today. And the assets that we're highlighting here show just how powerful it is to have Nanite and Lumen working in tandem. Also, thanks to the new Sky Atmosphere system, it is incredibly simple to quickly simulate realistic time of day, carefully art direct volumetric clouds, and make modifications to things like atmospherics, sun position, and fog. And for this example, we wanted a fully dynamic scene, no light baking, and realistic interpolation between the different times of day. Of course, when in development, having access
Whoa,
to
that was
high-quality
cool.
content that's easy to use helps you iterate quickly and saves lots of time that can be better spent elsewhere on your project. With Quixel now being a part of the Epic Games family, we've made the full Megascans library free and open for all Unreal Engine
Wow,
users.
open source.
Bridge,
That's
our
sick.
online browser for Megascans assets, has historically functioned as a standalone application for quickly exporting assets in bulk directly into the engine, albeit separate from Unreal. Today, we're happy to announce that Bridge is now natively integrated directly into the engine UI. Now you can simply drag and drop assets directly into your scene for a more intuitive and connected experience. And simply logging in with your Epic ID gives you immediate access to thousands of assets to use for free in your Unreal Engine projects.
That's probably the best part about this is that
We
it's
are
open
constantly
source,
looking to
pretty
enhance
much.
the
Well,
value
just
of the
free to use
Megascans library.
anything.
And today we're excited to announce that we're adding a brand new asset type called Mega Assemblies.
Mega assemblies.
Mega Assemblies are the natural next step for us in removing even more barriers for artists in crafting their worlds. By combining existing assets from the Megascans library, our artists are pre-assembling elements that can be quickly accessed and leveraged to populate your scenes. Using the Moab set, let's add an assembly to our scene.
Wow.
And just like that, we were able to quickly change the composition of this area in our map. With UE5, we are reimagining what collaboration looks like for teams and projects of all sizes. A common challenge when collaborating on large worlds is deciding how to structure map content so that everyone on the team can easily work without asset contention,
No, that's
while also
that's true.
avoiding painful merge conflicts. A new system called World Partition makes traditional world-building workflows obsolete by changing the way that we think about map files. Rather than requiring artists to build out map content as a series of streaming levels, World Partition allows teams to think of a single map as one large world that gets broken down automatically into many smaller, streamable cells on a grid. These cells can be selectively loaded or unloaded in the editor to save on edit time resources, allowing artists to only load up the sections of the map that they need. On top of that, changes to actors in a World Partition map are tracked at the actor level, not at the map level. This one file per actor approach empowers different team members to work on different actors in the same map, without having to worry about their changes getting clobbered in a merge or having to revert to get someone else's edits.
They really thought about
Now,
the team-based
this approach means you could have
options
artists
in this.
lighting, set dressing, and reworking the landscape simultaneously, all within the same virtual space. Managing this much content at runtime typically requires a ton of thought about how to stream relevant content in and out to stay inside performance budgets. Fortunately, World
That is
Partition
true.
handles that as well. At runtime, only the
That's
cells in a
nutty.
user-defined radius from our player are loaded, and as we move, new cells are streamed in, while cells no longer needed are replaced by their lower resolution, hierarchical level of detail, or HLOD version. And since all projects have different requirements, the cell size and loading radius are fully configurable to match each project's content streaming needs.
So there's a lot of stuff
Another
I don't
feature that comes
exactly
along with World
understand.
Partition is data layers.
But
Data layers are a
he's
way to
talking about it
categorize
in a
map
way that
assets
is
and
easier
collectively
to
enable or
understand.
disable them when you want to alter the state of the world. Working in data
Ooh.
layers, a separate group of artists was able to assemble a mythical reimagination of the environment with more interactive elements for our demo.
That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, so this demo.
At runtime, we can swap between these two modes,
I
streaming
remember that
thousands of actors
character.
in and out, and enter into the dark world. Let's see this in action as we go back to Chance.
Okay, so now I remember more of this because I remember Lumen. They were showing this
Thanks,
off
Galen.
like so long
Many
ago.
runtime and interactive frameworks in Unreal Engine are getting significant updates in UE5. One thing we've added for animation is an experimental new full-body IK solver, which is designed to give you better results with less work. Here, you can see it in action as the rig for our player character, Echo, corrects itself to adjust for variations on the ground below her.
Okay.
It's deterministic, reliable, and around 10 times faster than before. To build and maintain more scalable gameplay systems, we've also added a new framework called Game Feature Plugins that will allow you to
Feature
build and ship game
plugins.
content in a more modular way. With Game Feature Plugins, numerous core gameplay features can be built in parallel with better encapsulation and finer content organization. Game Feature Plugins allow developers to add activation instructions to extend
is a
base game
lot
functionality,
to even
register
look at.
new input actions for players, and interface with other frameworks such as animation. When we shifted into the Dark World, we also activated a new game feature to give Echo a brand new attack ability.
Ooh.
All of
That
the
was
assets and logic
sick.
needed for the ability, including new animations, input controls, blueprint code, VFX, and audio, are contained inside this plugin. and core game classes have no idea that these assets exist until we activate it. We've also added a feature called Animation Motion Warping, which allows you to manipulate root motion animations to adapt them to the world. Echo's vault animation was authored to the specific dimensions of this rubble. Leveraging motion warping, we were able to add notify states in the vault animation asset that can react to transform data passed in via blueprints. This allowed us to reuse the same animation to vault over other assets of different dimensions, like these pieces of debris, by sending information about their size into the motion warping system. Before triggering the vaulting animation, a blueprint script determines her rotation, how high up she jumps, how far she needs to move to get to the other side, and where her feet should land. Motion warping then adapts the root motion of the vault animation to match this data. Also, for the Rift Interact animation, we used motion warping to place Echo in the perfect position in order to ensure her hand would always touch the rift. So on the topic of animation, Unreal Engine 5 also includes our in-editor rigging tool, Control Rig.
Ooh. Boss battle! See, I can never understand what it's like to be a game developer, nor will I ever, because I just don't know if I could ever get into it this in-depth. But, I mean, Unreal Engine 5 especially is releasing like a whole bunch of stuff for developers to even work with, and it looks like it's so
film
insane.
Quality creature imagined and built by our friends at the Aaron Sims Creative Company. We partnered with Aaron Sims and his group of talented artists to concept the Dark World and to bring it to life through an enormous mythical adversary. Now, every single animation for the Ancient was authored wholly in Engine by the Aaron Sims creative team using Control Rig and Sequencer, our linear cinematic animation tool. Also, just to push the boundaries a bit, they even built it out of a collection of nanite meshes totaling over 50 million triangles attached directly to the skeleton.
Jesus.
Control Rig was designed to keep artists close to their
50
creations
million.
without having to bounce back and forth between software packages, allowing them to quickly iterate, all inside Unreal. While imagining the battle between Echo and the Ancient, we wanted to give the creature a heavy laser attack that Echo would have to avoid. We needed it to track Echo's location in the arena and fire a slow, sweeping blast towards her.
Pretty standard laser
Taking advantage of
attack.
the full-body IK solver mentioned earlier, we were able to influence the direction and distance the Ancient reaches out during the firing animation, based on where Echo is in the scene. Let's see the results. Here is what the base firing animation looks like.
He should be able to reach out a
And
bit
here
farther.
it is again, with the full-body IK post-process layers enabled, and our info about Echo passed into Control Rig. With full-body IK and Control Rig, designers and artists can now author fully dynamic animations that react to gameplay without having to build complex animation state machines composed of numerous animation assets. In Unreal Engine 5, we've completely overhauled the audio engine, centered around meta sounds, a new asset type used for every sound effect in our demo. Meta sounds bring the power and flexibility found in material editors to audio creation, providing fine control for authoring procedural game audio. With full audio synthesis capabilities and a rich audio function library, meta sounds give unprecedented control over sound effects and runtime applications. Using meta sounds, we built the Ancient's laser attack out of a combination of sound samples and synthesized audio.
This looks way more complicated than it needs to be, but this still is pretty nuts.
Let's briefly break down how it was set up. Using the stereo mixer, let's isolate and play just the synthesized charge sound.
Okay.
This effect is made by using
sound.
a handful of sound wave generators and multiple modulation widgets. Now, let's mix back in our sound samples to hear the final result again.
And the movement of everything. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good.
All right, let's take down the Ancient.
With one hit? Can't be one hit. I guess they're just showing just to see the sounds and just like the animations. Ah, yes. OP character to take down an Ancient in 2 hits.
Now, everything we've been showing you in today's demo focuses on some of the new features in UE5, but many of your favorite UE4 features, such as Niagara particles and visual effects, chaos physics, blueprint visual scripting, and more, have also received numerous updates in Unreal Engine 5.
Plus, all your UE4 projects can be upgraded to UE5, so you won't have to worry about forward compatibility for what you're working on now.
Here at Epic, we are passionate about building great tools and new technology. And a big part of our excitement is being able to bring you, the developer community, on the journey with us. So today, we're making an early access build of Unreal Engine 5 freely available on the Epic Games Launcher and the Unreal Engine GitHub, so you can explore and test out these tools yourself to get an early look at what's coming later in the full release of UE 5.0.
Also, we're releasing the project source for Valley of the Ancient, so you can check out how we use these features to build everything you've seen in today's demonstration.
That's awesome.
We've got a series of deep dive conversations on these topics lined up for Inside Unreal, our official weekly live stream, where you can hear from the engine dev team and ask your questions.
Now, these are still the early days of UE5, and you can expect more news and features to be announced as we move closer to a production-ready release targeting early 2022.
Follow the Unreal Engine social channels for more information, and feel free to download the early access release of Unreal Engine 5 and the Valley of the Ancient project today.
Thanks everyone for watching, and welcome to Early Access.
Hey, thank you guys so much for the presentation. It was pretty awesome. So my take from this is that Unreal Engine 5 looks incredibly well done, and it looks like it's an all-in-one package, because they were talking about how, well, first off, the workflow is going to be a lot easier to do within teams, and I am just talking just purely off of what I just saw. I'm not a game developer, but I am a web developer designer, so I know how difficult it is to be in a team and work on open source things where everyone's kind of touching up upon it and then possibly changing something. So it's insane how they're just making it so much more user friendly. They're including all these packages without you even having to have plugins for it, because I know they stated at least at one point where you wouldn't need a plugin in order to have this or this. That it's just like a third-party program. It's all integrated. Everything you need is all integrated into one program, and it looks like they're constantly updating it to just make it even better. And I love the points where it's just the animation. You can just put it at every single point. You don't have to worry about that. And the sounds effect too. Like I've seen charts like that before, and it's just, to me, it's just insane. I don't know what it takes to be a game developer, but like just seeing this showcase right here just makes me have that much more respect for game developers, especially since you're creating huge worlds in just your computer that could possibly even be the size of a new planet if you so choose it to be. That blew my fucking mind. Thank you, Epic Games. Thank you, Unreal Engine 5 creators, for showing me this, and this is awesome. But you guys gotta let me know in the comments down below if you guys are a game developer, and do you use Unreal Engine, and are you gonna use the 5th iteration? So that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I highly appreciate your time as always, but please do not forget to subscribe and or follow, not only to my YouTube, but to my Twitch. You guys know where my YouTube is at, but you can find my Twitch at twitch.tv/thegamedame. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.